So I'm here with Amanda Spears, Tony Ruiz, and Riley Chow. We're here to talk about the TV nominations that were announced this morning by the Screen Actors Guild. Lots of exciting stuff, lots of snubs, lots of surprises as usual. I'm going to go to Amanda first for a change, and I'd like to know, what was your instant reaction when you saw these nominations?
Well, for Sterling K. Brown, it's good news and it's bad news. Now, the good news is for him, Bob Odenkirk only scored one nomination, so he's not a problem. The bad news is Peter Dinklage is the most nominated actor at the Screen Actors Guild Awards this year because he's in drama actor, drama series ensemble, and he possibly is in the film series ensemble winner, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which means he could absolutely, like Bryan Cranston when he was in Argo, take this from Sterling K. Brown.
Wow.
And I am debating right now whether or not just to go all in and predict him. Because remember, when Bryan Cranston won that first time, no one saw it coming. They thought it was going to be Steve Buscemi again, maybe Damian Lewis, who had upset him at the Emmys. But I think what happened was people were like, he's a good guy. I'm not going to vote for Argo for ensemble. I'm not going to vote for Breaking Bad for ensemble. But I don't want to see him lose 3 times in the evening. You know what? I'm going to give it to him for actor. And I think Peter Dinklage is in kind of a same situation. They like him. So he could definitely just take this away from Sterling K. Brown. This is not good news for him.
Wow. Okay. Tony.
Glow seemed to really just come out of it shouldn't be as surprising as it was, but what was surprising to me was not only did it get Alison Brie, which I think was more expected, it got ensemble, it also got actor for Marc Maron. This is a show that I think has really captured the zeitgeist, particularly in Hollywood. We saw it, perform really well at the Golden Globes, and I think it's one we're going to really have to watch, particularly going into next year's Emmys.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's taken me by surprise. Riley, what about you?
I like how timing is less of an issue. It's still a problem on the film side, where if you come out too late, you'll get snubbed. But on the TV side, outside of Atlanta last year, which came out in the fall, everything that's new, it kind of gets in. That's not a problem. Like, I remember when we used to see, like, Julia Louis-Dreyfus would win the Emmy, and then she would get snubbed because it was a first-year show. This year we have Glow, we have Ozark, lots of stuff like that.
Yeah, lots of stuff. Yeah. My first reaction was just looking at the drama series nominations, the ensembles. It's like this has now become the 5 shows that seem to be like consistently getting being included in this club. The Crown, Game of Thrones, The Handmaid's Tale, Stranger Things, and This Is Us. All had very strong seasons. Handmaid's Tale's coming off their Emmy win. Did very well at the Golden Globes a couple of days ago. Stranger Things has done very well today with David Harbour and Millie Bobby Brown. This Is Us is there, thank God. I've just loved their current second season. And The Crown, was to be expected. I think that's taking all the British votes that Downton Abbey used to get in all those years. So, yeah, I was really excited about that. And I was also happy to see lots of little familiar faces. But there's a few things that we should be complaining about, because there's some stuff in here that makes me very unhappy. And I would like to focus on that now. And I'll go first.
With SAG? Really?
Yeah, with SAG. Can you believe that? What is going on with Will and Grace not getting as much recognition as we thought? Because, first of all, it makes us look stupid, and that's definitely not the case. It's more about why. I don't get it. Like, it underperformed at the Globes, and it's really underperformed here. Only Sean Hayes has been nominated that I can see, and that's really surprising. Sean Hayes is probably the standout, but all 4 of the actors on that show were amazing, and that new season of Will and Grace I just thought was just spot on brilliant, and it should have been nominated, and the fact that it's not really disappoints me. So that's where I'm at with disappointments. There's lots of others, but that's the main one. Let's go to Riley this time, and we'll go back the other way. What do you think, Riley? Was anything that stood out to you as being just silly or unnecessarily annoying?
We'll just say on the Will and Grace side, like the comedy nominations this year are fairly progressive. They've finally dropped Modern Family. They finally dropped The Big Bang Theory. And they don't have Will and Grace, which is kind of more like an older style of show. So that's not normally what we see with SAG voters. Will and Grace is actually not doing that well. It also missed a comedy series at the Writers Guild Awards, which is the only other guild that has announced, and it's a big one. So it doesn't have the Writers Guild, doesn't have the Screen Actors Guild. So maybe
It does
it's not
have
a lock.
It does have an individual nomination at the Writers Guild. It has an episodic.
It does, but the episodic
nomination.
nominations are pretty crazy. They're always decided by panels that nominate the most random things. Like it's nominated opposite the Carmichael Show, for example, which of course has no any prospects.
Sorry.
And anything else, Riley, apart from Will and Grace, that stood out to you as being a surprising snub?
Snubs, well, like on the drama side, yeah, we've got those 5, and I mean, if you look at the odds, the show that was in 6th is The Deuce. So it really is those 5, and then there's quite a gap before we get to anything else. I'm always on the lookout for if Silicon Valley can finally be competitive to win comedy series, especially with Veep out this year. But they just have never connected with the Actors Branch or the Guild. And it looks like this year will be another year where they get tons of nominations. They even just added a new comedy sound editing category. But yeah, it won't be able to go the distance. So I think we need to watch out for Curb Your Enthusiasm and Glow, which are the 2 that have hit both Writers Guild and Screen Actors Guild so far.
Okay, Tony?
The 2 snubs, particularly on the comedy side, I thought the drama side was pretty good, but on the comedy side, the 2 completely glaring omissions to me are, aside from Will and Grace, which I think deserved a lot more. I think Megan Mullally really deserved to be here. But The Good Place.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell, Danson, that is consistently, in my opinion, one of the funniest comedies on TV. And to my mind, I just don't understand why it doesn't show up here. They keep going to seemingly safe choices, things like Uzo Aduba, nominating both Lily Tomlin and Jane Fonda from Grace and Frankie, which made me happy. I would have really loved to see Pamela Adlon in here, because Better Things she is extraordinary on that show. But yeah, those are the 2 snubs that just really make no sense to me.
Amanda?
Where's Fargo? Like, there's no nominations for Fargo. So we won't get any awkward Fargo jokes because Frances McDormand will be there, which is kind of disappointing to me. But what the hell is with the Benedict Cumberbatch coming back? I mean, I know for some reason the Golden Globes really hate him, but I just don't get why he's in that group. He's probably going to be my 5th place choice. But
it's weird. He hasn't been nominated in years. It's the same with Bob Odenkirk, too. He wasn't nominated last year. I guess with these guys, it's just whenever they have space, they throw them in. Whenever they don't. But yeah, I would have thought that Fargo would have been further ahead.
And then where the hell is a second nomination for Veep or for The Handmaid's Tale or for Game of Thrones? They couldn't get Ann Dowd. Now, I know Chris said they might not have submitted her, which if they didn't, that might have been smart because she probably would have cost... That probably would have cost Elizabeth Moss the win, frankly. But they can't get Lena Headey, they can't get Emilia Clarke on the ladies' side for Game of Thrones. They can't get Tony Hale in there, or Matt Walsh on the comedy side. I can't pick Veep or Game of Thrones without an additional nomination. I just can't make that mistake again. And I think the one thing we've learned is these nostalgia trips, as much as audiences love them, I think the industry's just kind of been there, done that. And, as far as SAG's concerned, Sean Hayes has won 3 times. Megan Mullally's won 3 times. The series won at least once or twice. Maybe they feel they've done all they needed to, and it's time to award someone new. And if that's the case, good for you.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and the other snub that was actually kind of surprising me, because sometimes SAG can be kind of a populist body. I mean, this is a group that gave ensemble to CSI and gave drama actress to Chandra Wilson from Grey's Anatomy. I was really surprised that Freddie Highmore from The Good Doctor didn't make it in here, considering that has quickly become the most watched drama on television, and that omission really surprised me.
I was just kind of surprised in general that there wasn't one of those like, what, huh, how'd that happen, kind of like.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Like I know it's not like good for my predictions, but
No, who cares?
so it's just kind of fun when you're like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, I'm still scratching my head over Patrick J. Wilson from Suits. That made me so happy all those years ago.
But,
I don't know how it happened.
Or what was it? What would have been another good one? Like in, one of the movie categories. Like I don't think Edie Falco was like, like on the TV limited series. But they really love her. She's won 3 times. She was nominated a half a dozen times for Nurse Jackie. I kind of expected her to kind of take that spot.
So I think what you're saying then, which I agree with, is there's a lot of same here, same stuff that we've seen before, and especially in the miniseries, television, movie categories. They're being choked up by Big Little Lies and Betty and Joan. There's only a few little slots left for everybody else, and they don't have an ensemble category for that genre, which is ridiculous. I still do not understand why that is the case. And so, because Godless might have been able to get another nomination if they had an ensemble category. I know, Amanda, you loved Godless, and I'm only halfway through it, but it certainly deserved more attention than just getting Jeff Daniels. Like some of the women, so this is about the women in that show, and they get nothing.
I mean, Merritt Weaver. I mean, I was right. Come on, Merritt Weaver is amazing.
Yeah. Even Michelle Dockery,
I get Alexander Skarsgård as the male actor in Big Little Lies, which makes it very easy for him to be the choice for like limited actor. But it should be Alfred Molina. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's the one, if you ask me type-wise, that fits into this. It should have been him. But I don't know what to do with limited series actress. I'm like a computer I don't know about you, Riley. I'm like,
it's obvious. It's so obvious, isn't it?
It's got to be Nicole Kidman. 10th time's the charm, right?
Yeah.
I love Chris. He's like, now we're going to see an article a week on this. I'm like, I already submitted ideas.
So, okay, so that's where we're at. I mean, I think there's a lot of other stuff that we can pick out of this. For example, no disrespect to Orange is the New Black, but I thought it was a weaker season that was eligible, and here it is again. But again, we've got to be looking at this in terms of the ensembles. That's the lens that we need to be looking at this through, and I guess that ensemble is pretty fantastic. And
the good news is that most series top out at 3. It's very rare to win 4. Modern Family holds the record actually overall of all series of 5. Mm-hmm. So it looks like we're going to have a new comedy series winner. Now, I hate to be this person, but Veep might get a hug because their star does have cancer. So that might help them a little bit. I know I'm going straight to hell. You don't need to write it in the comments. I know. It could. We've all love her. We all want to see her get better. We want to see her have like one last grand season on that show.
Yeah.
So that could absolutely, no, we're not playing right now. Sorry. That could absolutely help the show kind of get that kick that it needs. And it's just one of those things where like, we're going to probably see a new comedy series winner. I don't think Stranger Things picked up nominations, so it could lose. A lot of buzzworthy shows win once and then have a hard time keeping the momentum.
It's interesting. Stranger Things lost a nominee because Winona Ryder wasn't nominated, but it picked up a nominee in a different category with David Harbour being nominated. So that's a possibility. I wonder if on the comedy side, if actress, actor could glow, really capture people.
It's very rare for a series on the comedy side to win all 3. I think only 30 Rock did it.
Okay.
But could both the actor and actress lose, but the support for the show give it best ensemble?
Yeah,
possible.
it could. I think for
Yeah,
Anthony
SAG is obsessed with
Anderson,
Netflix. Yeah.
yeah, I think for like Anthony Anderson, the good news is that they don't like to look back. So someone like Aziz Ansari, his show's off the air, it's not coming back right away. So he's kind of at a disadvantage. They've never awarded Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's had a spotty record of getting nominated. So for Anthony Anderson, this is it.
I hope so.
If he cannot win this, he will not win an Emmy.
What a wonderful season so far. And that reminds me, Tracee Ellis Ross missed out today, and she missed out 2 days ago at the Globes after winning last year. Not surprising from the Globes, they do that all the time. But Tracee Ellis Ross, that episode about postpartum depression, I mean, honestly, I just can't. She should be winning the Emmy next year. She's so good in that show, and I can't believe she's not being recognized this season. I'm very surprised.
Now that we think about snubs, where's Matt LeBlanc? I would have loved to see him show up because he had a stellar season on episodes. We don't know what's coming, but it looks like, they always nominate Larry David. Anthony Anderson's always been nominated. If this comes down to them, God help us if William H. Macy wins. I can't do it. That show is not.
Yeah.
Or could they go back to the person that they love and give Sean Hayes?
That would be great.
That would make. I mean, he's already kind of. I think there might be one other person who's won 3 in that category, but
he's already won.
I think there's someone else other than him and Alec Baldwin. If I'm doing the math in my head, but
Ty Burrell?
No, he's only won 1. But I mean, I think that would put him at like a clear number 2 to Alec Baldwin. I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't think I just think they're kind of like, we love Sean Hayes, and guests and comedy actress is just a little too competitive to get Megan Mullally. I'm sure if we saw the vote total, she was probably in the top 8.
Yeah, and I would expect the 2 leads as well. I mean, I think Eric McCormack is so underrated. I can't believe he's not getting.
Well, Deborah Messing's the one who was like never. Yeah, I think she was only nominated like once or twice.
She's fantastic. I think I'm going to call drama series to The Handmaid's Tale. I think the Trump factor is just going to continue. That show's going to win the Globe and the SAG.
Handmaids dressed up in Alabama last night.
It's really, I mean, you got the tweet about Kirsten Gillibrand. It just keeps going. The Me Too, the hashtag Me Too. This is its time. It will win everything, I think, for the foreseeable future. And so, and I'm happy with that. That's just what I'm thinking at the moment. Mm-hmm. Riley, what do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked about with The Handmaid's Tale how Ann Dowd wasn't submitted. They only submitted Elizabeth Moss and Yvonne Strahovski on the actress side. I don't know if that's because of billing contract issues where she's the second most prominent, or maybe if it's strategic where they see like everybody else is already
not going to get nominated.
Let's try to get her in there. I'm very intrigued by Curb Your Enthusiasm because they weren't nominated last season when they had their best ratings ever and when they had a more acclaimed season. But it's a much different television landscape now. We see just Veep and Silicon Valley just take the nominations in every category. And with Veep out this year, I'm looking for what's going to win in its place. On the drama side, I'm very surprised by Ozark. I thought that was a show kind of like Billions, that has people that the industry really likes, but just nobody cares about the show, and it's peak TV, so it's just forgotten. But instead, what's happened is it's had this showing here. Jason Bateman got in at the Globes, and it also got a new series nomination at the Writers Guild. And there has never been a new series nominee at the Writers Guild that has not gone on to at least an Emmy nomination in some category some year. So I guess that's a factor. And you also look at, we had those 5 drama ensemble nominees, and we're thinking like, what's 6th? Ozark got 2 nominations, so maybe it's getting a drama series nomination too.
Yeah, I think Ozark's having a really good year, and I think a lot of it stemmed from that article a while ago, I don't remember who published it, about how it was Netflix's most popular series, and I think that's when people started to take notice. That's when I took notice of it. I wasn't even going to worry about Ozark because this is too much to watch, but now I'm totally invested in it. So yeah, I think there's a lot to like about this. There's a few stuff-ups in terms of snubs, but overall, nothing really. There was no jaw droppers as far as I'm concerned, unless anyone.
Are you surprised This Is Us couldn't get like Mandy Moore or Chrissy Metz?
I mean, it's sad. Even like Justin Hartley or I think that cast so strong. And mate, no show makes me tear up as much as that one. And I have a black soul, so like that's pretty good. All right, well I think we'll leave it at that. Thank you everybody. We'll reconvene for film shortly.
Bye.